Thank you. And good evening, everyone. My name is Ruma Jalali, and I would like to thank you, each one of you, for taking the time out today for this session. I'm personally quite excited to share my journey with all of you, along with some of the insights and lessons that I have learned along the way. As a part of this talk, I will try to summarize my last 24 years of career with you in the next 30 to 40 minutes. And I hope you find it a good use of your time. The session will include both my personal and professional experiences and challenges that I have faced, along with some of the activities outside of work, which I am very passionate about. So I hope that you find the session interesting and enriching. I'm the Senior Manager for Technical Services in Amazon, and I manage operational excellence for Obstec IT. Starting with a quick snippet on my educational background, I did my schooling from a convent school in a small town called Mau in Madhya Pradesh, post which I started with my graduation in mathematics and science from Polga Science College and pursued my MBA in marketing from Devi Ahilya University. So along with my education, while I was pursuing my graduation specifically, I developed this interest in learning to fly. Those days, to be very honest, there weren't many facilities or the comforts the way we have today. Today, we have the concept of helicopter moms who actually ferry kids from one class to the other and kids have option to choose from a variety of hobbies that they can pick up and hone their skills on. Back then, we made best use of the limited resources that were available to us. And over and above my full-time academics that I was pursuing, which itself took a lot of time, there was a batch of 7 of us who pursued flying by joining the Air Wing in our college. And that was the beginning of my flying stint during my college days. It required tremendous perseverance and grit to be able to sustain this for almost close to 3 years. And over and above my regular studies, I would spend time, preparing for the exams, written exams, and taking all the sorties and flights at the airport. Eventually, the learning for me was a lot of my batchmates started dropping out because this wasn't easy, considering the academics pressure that was there and the zeal to excel here as well. But I think for me, what worked was a clear focus and not to give up as a learning, which helped me throughout in my corporate journey as well. I completed my flying lessons and back then got my student pilot license. And that was the story on my flying journey. Post this, I started my first job and beginning of my corporate career, which was with Taj Group of Hotels. And I joined them as a graduate intern. Excellent industry in terms of the overall experience and taught me what it means to be customer obsessed. Excellent grooming ground and a training platform that I got in the hospitality industry. After hospitality, back then, Telecom had started booming and first mobile phones were launched. And I was, I think, fortunate enough to get into Telecom as a domain. And it helped me in nurturing my skills on customer service operations. This was the time when the sites were coming up and we would operate, honestly speaking, out of tents and tin sheds. And by the time the entire office space and structure was constructed, and then we were writing manuals and SOPs on the customer service operations. That was one of the most enriching experiences that I had in the telecom industry. So that was my stint with Telecom. And that was also the time when I had my first baby, and I decided to go on a sabbatical for almost a year and give my undivided attention to my child. And that was the break in my career for almost a year. Post which I joined GE Capital. Again, it was a completely new industry. I joined them as a team leader for their call center operations and customer support, and took the advantage of being a part of this company by honing my skills on Lean Six Sigma and got my Green Belt certification. Post GE, due to family reasons, I changed the location from Hyderabad, moved to Bangalore, and that was again the beginning of my journey back in telecom. I joined Bharti Airtel for their customer interface group. During the stint of close to 4.5 years, I was involved in moving across the functions, learned various roles. I joined them as a postpaid manager, managing a team of close to 150 people and their non-voice operations, moved around functions, including customer lifecycle programs and service assurance. Extremely dynamic, extremely tough environment, but very, very fulfilling and enriching. So I had the journey in Airtel, and that was the time I was blessed with my twins, a boy and a girl. So life had enough challenges in store, but I was not somebody who would have given up so easily. And I wanted it both, my career to progress and at the same time to be able to do justice to my family. To be honest, there were times where I felt like giving it up all and to be at home, and that's always an easiest option. But then I think something inside me kept me focused on my goals throughout, and I reached out for support. This is again one of my personal learnings that as women, we shy away from seeking support. And it's important at times because if you are genuine, if you have the right intent and commitment, my personal experiences have taught me that the entire universe conspires to help you. And these are my live examples because back then there wasn't any concept of work from home or flexibility. You were expected to be in office long hours, so that was a very, very clear expectation. So to have a support system of good colleagues, mentors, and teams who are positive, encouraging, and are looking forward to deliver results always helps. And not to mention your support and the entire mechanism on the personal front becomes the biggest enabler which helps you in this journey. I would just like to quote an incident. This was way back in my Airtel days. My son was going through serious health issues, and I was at the verge of giving it up. I still remember that day I walked into the office with my resignation letter, and I thought that is all that I need right now. I need a break and to be able to give him some time. And that is where a mentor plays a very important role in our careers. And I was really lucky to have that mentor who gave me a very patient hearing and a clear perspective and helped me break up my emotions and the practical aspects of having the career. I think it just helped me clear my thoughts, which were clouded at that point in time and were full of emotions because of the personal challenges that I was going through. But that helped me stay tuned and focused on my career. So that's one piece of learning that I had in my stint at Airtel. After that, I was kind of looking for an industry which was completely different because by then I had spent almost 9 years and I wanted to try out something different. And that's when I started my journey with Herbalife, which was into health and nutrition completely. I joined them as the head of distributor services for their pan India operations. I traveled extensively within Asia Pacific, spent a lot of good amount of time and effort in terms of understanding the cultural nuances, the team dynamics, the way they operate, their working culture. And that helped me in terms of doing justice to this extensive role. This was more about complete customer lifecycle management end to end. Post Herbalife, I joined IBM. This is one organization where I spent 11 years before joining Amazon. At IBM, I joined them as a delivery project executive for one of the most toughest and challenging accounts. So this was the role. For the first time, I was overwhelmed because I was suddenly managing a complete center of 1,100 people. Uh, and the center had not only a lot of people related issues and escalations and dynamics around that piece, but the client was extremely demanding and all the contractual SLAs were in red. And that was the account that I was expected to manage. And to be very honest, my initial 6 months, 6 to 8 months in that account were the toughest for obviously the reasons that I stated. But they became the foundation for my next 11 years in this organization. And what worked for me, a couple of things that I would want to share in this journey is that when you have a tough client or a situation where your performance is not there and the SLAs are not up to the mark and the contracts you're obligated to deliver, what helped in that situation is to be able to acknowledge everything transparently with the client that yes, we do have issues. Here are the XYZ things. We acknowledge all the misses that we have had, but here is the plan. Here is what I'm going to do in the next 3 months to bounce back from what the history has been. And we started communicating, sharing information, shared as much data points, communicated effectively, engaged with them in the periodic reviews, etc. And that kind of helped us rebuild the client confidence. And another learning that I had in this role was in terms of managing people and their interest levels. Because what I figured out by then was that the motivation levels for every team member is very, very different. Some people get excited about money. Some people get excited about getting more responsibilities, larger portfolios. Some people are looking for some work-life balance, and some people need recognition. So it is not one size that fits all. It is the nuances of managing people and their expectations all the time. So that was my lesson back then while managing this particular account. And I think personally, what works is to be authentic and be genuine in whatever you do. And the reason I give it so much of importance is because this particular account over a period of time had to, due to strategic decision, had to be ramped down from 1,100. We had to redeploy 800 people. And that was a mammoth task, considering the history of people-related issues, etc., that we had historically. So what helped here was a sincere effort to ensure that we upskill people, give them relevant training so that they get placed within the organization into suitable roles. We were able to place a lot of them, a majority of them within the organizations. But also along with working with the HRBP, the HR partners, and through my internal personal network, we were able to also deploy these people into other companies to get suitable roles so that they can continue on their career trajectory and do not have to face the brunt of some of these strategic changes, which impacts people immensely. So I think that itself kind of gives some level of comfort, and I do have those long-term relationships still till today that people reach out. After this stint of 8 months in this account, I handled a couple of other international accounts, clients, and all those roles were a cakewalk for me because I had done it all in my initial days. Second thing, after this, I was involved. I was a delivery excellence leader for Pan India operations for global technology services, and had a fantastic team, and which did wonders, and we grabbed a lot of awards, etc. Post which I moved into a strategic role from hardcore, intense people management, client interfacing, and managing those roles. I moved into a strategic and a transformation role, which was more about identifying all the areas, all the accounts which are kind of dilutive in nature, which are not making profits, and how do we turn it around? How do we turn it around? So I was working in this global role with multiple geographies. Again, very different experience. This time I did not have a big team. It was a very, very small team. I had my discomfort before I moved into this role because I was all about people prior to this. And this was kind of, discomforting because I was moving out of my comfort zone. But what helped me, and I think it is important, the lesson here is that it is very important for every individual to move out of that comfort zone, to explore the territory for which you just have no clue about, and give it your best. And things definitely start working out. I I was in this role for close to 3.5 years and enjoyed every bit of it. And it was completely different than what I had done in the past. It was more about thinking, more about putting plans together and getting other teams to deliver. So I was not responsible for delivery in this role, but it was to influence everybody else to be able to deliver what was the best for the business model. Another aspect that I would want to touch about here while on my journey in IBM was what I realized as women. It is good to do amazing work, but it is great to get recognized for it, to be very honest. And often I have seen women performing exceptionally well, but they shy away from seeking recognition. And I want to share my story on this, a very short story. So there was a program where 50 top managers were to be selected from thousands of managers across the globe. And this entire process required a lot of effort, to go through a stringent assessment, preparations, making presentations, delivering results. And all this was over and above the regular BAU work or role that you are assigned to deliver any which ways. Nevertheless, I think this was kind of a success story. I was recognized as a manager's champion globally, and entire credit goes to my team, which stood behind me in terms of ensuring that we do what it takes to make it a success. Got an opportunity to receive the award from the chairman and CEO back then, Ginny Rometty herself. And after this, I was involved as a change champion globally to drive the deployment of complete analytics platform, which benefited the teams to perform their jobs better. So I was completely involved in leading some of these transformation initiatives. So it is not just about technology, it is about people and delivering results, because that is what differentiates us. While technology is absolutely important and critical for the success of the business, but I consider it as an enabler which helps us to do our jobs better, more efficiently, so that our resources, our teams can be deployed for more meaningful and meaty roles. This was my journey in IBM, and I joined Amazon beginning of this year. I am currently the operational excellence leader for India and Asia Pacific for their OpsTech IT. A fantastic place to be in. And this is a place, if you want to hone your skills, you want to learn something new, you are curious, you're obsessed about customers, you want to deliver results, this is the place to be. We are a very inclusive team of professionals, and anybody joining Amazon can see the warmth and the comfort that you get used to over a period of time. The teams are fantastic. There is a complete ecosystem which is there to support you and to encourage you to be successful. So over and above this, there are a couple of other things that I want to touch upon, which is, yeah, Arun, if you could move to slide number 6, please. Yeah, this is over and above my work experience. This is a passion that I had in terms of in terms of running, and I did this for close to 4 years, I believe, roughly, and and I joined the club within the organization, which was into running. And the lesson here, which is so important and which stays with me today, is that everything is in your mind. It is not about the physical strength. And running taught me back then that mind is the tool. If you're able to control it, you can achieve anything. It can get you through those times when you feel like your legs can't carry you even one step ahead. And also, if you're passionate about something, you will always find the time to pursue it. So from running, I also learned, that it is not about competing with others, but it is about how you become a best version of yourself and improve continuously. Important is to set small term goals and keep moving forward step by step to achieve them. And so this was a time when I participated in the Pinkathon and IBM Blue Mix marathon runs and the midnight runs, and made the best of what was available again. From my running journey, I transitioned from this phase of life to something more fulfilling and holistic, and which is about giving back to the society. So giving back to the society can infuse your life with a sense of purpose. I have been a part of this NGO Dhyan Foundation for the last 7 years. This foundation has been involved in running yoga sessions, which are absolutely free of cost, free distribution of food, conducting food distribution drives, rehabilitation and taking care of injured and sick animals, running schools for underprivileged. Just to give you an example, during the COVID lockdown, all of us volunteered to feed thousands of strays across the country in India. And along with that, we fed thousands of migrant workers on a regular basis. The foundation operates across the country in India and worldwide. And the main objective is it is a thought to aid creation, and it encourages people like you and me who are a part of the MNCs, all the top MNC executives. They are a part of the foundation. It encourages to give back to the society what we have taken all throughout. I'm personally involved in volunteering for their weekend food distribution drives for the migrant workers, and also caring for animals. At Dhyan Foundation, service and charity are the two basic tools for good health and good career growth. This experience has helped me not only with my mental well-being, but also helped me develop empathy and compassion and mindfulness. And in today's world, post-COVID world, our society needs more of compassion and empathy than anything else. So this is my transition from being just about physical to a holistic approach of making it about physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. At Amazon, diversity and inclusion is the number one priority, and we give it a high significance in everything that we do. And as far as diversity is concerned, it is just not about gender diversity, but it is about bringing in a different thought process, experiences, backgrounds, perspectives, all of these together to be able to see a value. We encourage highly inclusive and diverse teams. And what we have, which is different in Amazon than the rest of the organizations, is specific mentoring and career pathing programs to, to develop the talent for women and veterans. And what we believe is that our focus remains on attracting best of the talent, develop them, and retain them for their long term successful careers. Uh, just to give you a snippet about how we are different and what are the things that we do, especially for women in Amazon, we do have a program called Pinnacle, which is about career planning and various training interventions which are provided for their successful careers. We encourage all our women leaders to have mentors who can help them navigate in the system and be a support mechanism. We also have inclusive, training programs on inclusions. We have training programs which are primarily training the women leaders to hire and attract more diverse talent and bring them on board. Over and above this, we are just not limited to our regular full-time roles. We do have specific roles for women who have taken career breaks and want to rejoin the workforce. We also have benefits for women who are on maternity, and these are the programs where women can resume back to work with a 50, 70, and 100% capacity, depending on their personal situations and challenges that they are facing. So we try our best to ensure that we give a very comfortable and a cohesive environment for women to come on board and make a difference in their careers. In my team itself, talking about diversity, I have good orators, I have good process experts, I have technology experts, and analytics experts. It's a team of diverse individuals who are trying to do something very, very different for the overall business impact. And that's what different thoughts and perspective makes Amazon a peculiar place. Talking about the leadership principles, um, at Amazon, we have 16 leadership principles, and these are deeply ingrained in every Amazonian because we live and breathe our leadership principles daily. You would have heard from your past experience, or for those of you who are applying for roles or have already applied, that our entire selection mechanism of interview is the core is on these 16 leadership principles. And my suggestion here would be that if you're preparing or looking for opportunities to work in Amazon, whether you're a man or a woman or a veteran, it's important that you come up with a few examples basis your past experience that you have had in other companies or during your education. Write down those examples, keep them with you, and try to align them with the multiple leadership principles that we have. Personally, for me, what strikes me currently is to learn and be curious and always insist on high standards. Another tip that I would want to just give to the aspiring future Amazonians is that when you are preparing for an interview, always in your mental model, look at a STAR format, which is basically situation, task, action, and results. And try to keep all your examples in this sequence. Because the moment you do that, you will not give a chance for any subsequent follow-up questions, because this approach holistically covers every aspect of what one would want to hear in your examples. So I would highly, highly encourage each one of you who are listening today uh, uh, to apply for roles in Amazon and reach out to our hiring team, which is a fantastic team looking forward to help you navigate through the system and take you through the various nuances of the complete selection process in Amazon. And so, personally, I would like to invite you to be a great Amazonian for future, because we need more and more people like you to be a part of a journey. So at Amazon, we believe in working hard, having fun, and making history. Thank you. Okay, so there are a couple of questions which have come up, and I'm just kind of going through some of them, and I will pick them up one by one. So there is a question, what kept you going even after facing so many obstacles? Thank you, Anushka, for this question. Um, what kept me going? I think, to be very honest, it is just in my mind that I'm not a person who gives up so easily, right? And especially in an environment where women have do not have it so easy, whether it is professionally or personally, and you want to make it work. And that's why I say it's important. It's just in the mind. If you have set your mind to achieve something and you are passionate about it, you will make it work. You will make it happen. And yes, as I mentioned, you definitely, there is a point in time in your career and personal lives where you need maximum support of your colleagues, your mentors, your teams, uh, support at a personal front from your parents, your spouse, and children, which can just keep you going. So, yes. But irrespective of that, it is all about you. What is it that you want to do? Okay. Uh, there is another question from Nandini. What gave you such mental strength and energy? To be very honest with you, for the last 8 to 9 years, since I have been involved in terms of giving back, thanks to Dhyan Foundation and all the initiatives that I'm a part of. It just keeps you going. It just gives you a mechanism uh, to do something more fruitful and more meaningful over and above the results that you deliver professionally. It gives you that strength and energy always to come back fresh and start all over again as a day one, as what we call in Amazon. So I think that holistic approach of being, uh, spiritual and overall well-being and mindfulness as a part of the NGO has helped me a lot in my career. Any tips for ensuring work-life balance, specifically from a woman's perspective? Great question, Dia. And thank you for asking that. And I think this is one thing which is extremely close to my heart, because I have experienced this throughout, and I experience it today as well. This is nothing which is outside of me. I think as women we face this throughout, and It is about work-life harmony. It is about work-life integration. It is about prioritizing where you need to pay more attention. And those will be very, very dynamic situations. There will be times when your work becomes a priority number one and family adjusts. There are times that your children need best of the attention and time, and you need to prioritize that. So there is a constant work-life integration and harmony which is required. Is it easy? The answer is no. But can you make it work? Yes. The answer is yes, definitely. So it's all what is it that you want to do ultimately with your career and your personal and professional lives. I hope I am answering questions and they are in line with the questions that you are asking. Okay, so can take another question. There is a question from Riddhi. She is saying, she's asking, a lot of people are asking about the NGO and how to get involved about Dhyan Foundation. So that's a great question. So Dhyan Foundation is a thought to aid creation, as I mentioned. You can get involved. There are centers across the country, across the globe, in multiple countries in UK, US, Australia, uh, Canada, etc. And in India, you can reach out, you can log in to their website, www.dhyanfoundation.com, and reach out to the respective centers to know more about the foundation and the work that they do and volunteer as required. I will just take another question from Ramya. Thank you, Ramya. She's saying your journey is so inspiring. Do you have any advice for women looking to join back work after a break? Yes, of course. I mean, by all means, women taking a break is a very, very natural and whatever sabbatical, etc., that one ends up taking. It's a very normal, and organizations completely understand all these uh, career breaks with all due respect, and encourage more and more women to join back work after their various career breaks, whether due to maternity or any other personal reasons, etc. My only advice for women joining back the workforce after a break would be that once you join, give it your best. Be very clear in your mind that you have joined a professional organization and you will focus on delivering whatever is expected out of you in that role. So do justice to the roles, whatever you select or you choose for yourself. But once you have decided, there is no looking back. There should never be a backup option, is what I always believe in. So, yeah, if that helps me answering that question. All right. The last question before I close is from Ananya. What advice do you have for graduates looking to work in Amazon? Interesting. So we do have a graduate internship program, especially from an OpsTech IT standpoint, which is being developed and will be rolled out most likely by the beginning of 2022. And but across the Amazon as an organization and various functions, we do have a lot of internship programs that undergrads can apply for, and we encourage more and more uh, uh, young talent and young minds entering our workforce because they bring in so much of energy and bright ideas and and a vibrant thought process, that they are absolutely welcome. So please apply for these roles across the board in Amazon. There is a job portal that you can log on to, reach out to our hiring team, and ensure that you get all the jobs posted there, apply for them, go through the interview process, which is based on Amazon's 16 leadership principles, and you should sail through. Yeah. Okay, so that was the last question. And all right, so I would like to take this opportunity once again to thank all of you for giving me a patient hearing and listening to me. I hope I was able to do some justice for the time that you spent as a part of this session, and would have at least some takeaways which can add value to your life and careers. Thank you for being with us. Have a great rest of the evening.